Welcome to Axel's Garage. We're going round 2. We're going to try this black trim on Stevens Avalanche. Alright. The champion so far has been Cerakote. The black trim coat, ceramic trim coat restoration kit. It's the wipes. Kind of hate the wipes, but this shit works. In the last video, you did our 11 and a half month real world test between the Cerakote and the Meguiar's. Was it Meguiar's? Yeah, Meguiar's Ultimate Black, I believe it was. I'll link it right up here and check that out. Didn't go well for the Ultimate Black. I think it was the Meguiar's Ultimate Black. But today we're going with something new, and it's Car Guys Professional Detailing Plastic Restorer, made in USA, long lasting and easy to use. And they said if it doesn't work, you could always prep and paint your plastic trim. I didn't like that. It was the last sentence in the thing here. Sometimes restoration is not successful. The material might have to be painted. That's not an option. We're not painting anything. So here's what we got. We got a clean, fresh panel. And then we got 11 and a half month old Cerakote, looking pretty good. So we're going to do the ass end in this Car Guys Professional Detailing Plastic Restorer. And then I'm going to touch up his other, the two sides and the front bumper with the Cerakote. Probably not going to need much. I only got about 6 wipes left. Hopefully I can get through that in the 6 wipes, otherwise I'll have to go buy another box of the Cerakote wipes. But in the meantime, this Car Guys stuff, shake bottle well. I'll show you here. Shake bottle well, clean and dry, apply a small amount onto the applicator, massage into the surface, create a thin layer, let the product work for 10 to 30 minutes. It can even sit overnight. After restoring, buff the surface with a clean towel, let it dry for another 10 minutes. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. I gave the bottle a nice shake. It doesn't say anything about wearing gloves, but it's been my experience that some of these black trim restore products can get your hands all black and crappy. I don't know if this will. Let's see what the gloves look like. So I shook it up, got the applicator pad that it came with. Yeah, it is a little bit gray. It's not, you know, not a white liquid like a lot of them are. It is a little grayish, so we'll see. I'm going to concentrate on this part here. I'm going to rub it in. It says to rub in. It's kind of going on similar to the Meguiar's, the Ultimate Black, but it feels a little different, but it is similar to the Meguiar's. I wound up using a lot of the Meguiar's, and I have a feeling this is going to be the same way. It's going to require a decent amount of product to really get into this plastic. This plastic definitely dries out where you need a lot of it. Doesn't say anything about, you know, being cautious not to get it on the painted surfaces. If I do, I'll just wipe it off. I'm not foreseeing a problem there. Well, it's definitely working. But it also definitely feels like I don't think this bottle would do the whole truck at the amount that I'm putting on to get it to do a nice job soaking in. This plastic really soaks it up. Put a big glob on that time, maybe it'll help. Alright, I'm going to keep doing more of the same. back with you when I get this panel done. I got the whole panel done. It's not smooth. It's kind of blotchy. The more you go over it, the more it seems to smooth out, but then you look at it again and it's blotchy. I don't know if wiping it down is going to help. I got some microfiber towels. They're all clean. One of them is stained. Don't think it's dirty. They're all clean. I'm going to wipe it down like I said to. Maybe that'll smooth out the finish a little bit. Definitely the hardest product I've used so far in terms of application. In order for me to use something like this again, it's really got to last. I don't know if it's coming up on camera, but the blotchiness does go away wiping it down. All right, I don't know. A lot of work. You really gotta rub it in like it's a wax, and then you got to let it dry. I learned as I went, the longer you let it dry, the better or smoother or less blotchy it looks when you take a microfiber and sort of like buff it off. And the microfiber did get a little dirty, so I grabbed, actually after the clip that you saw, I grabbed a clean microfiber. They were all clean, but one that wasn't stained, to show you how much dirtiness comes off. However, the stuff doesn't get your hands crazy black. It doesn't turn your hands black. You don't need gloves. You just wash your hands when you're done. I'll show you what the finished product looks like here. So it's a little, maybe a hair blotchy, or I should say blotchier than anything else we've used. I mean, the plastic, the better shape the plastic was in, of course, the better it came in. I'll roll in a little picture here if I have one of sort of like a split as I was going down this panel here to show the difference. I mean, you can see it right there. Now, I did use a lot of product. You really did have to put it on fairly heavy. I'm gonna guess there's probably a little more than half, maybe 2/3 left in the bottle. So you do burn through it pretty fast. This was a lot more work than the Meguiar's Ultimate Black, which only lasted about 3 months. Wait till you see how easy the Cerakote is. This would really have to last really well for me to use it again, or to recommend it. It's just, it's a lot of elbow grease putting it on and going over it and over it and over it till you get complete coverage, and buffing it in and then letting it dry and buffing it off. Here's the microfiber. So you can see the microfiber. This was a clean microfiber. It does get dirty buffing it off, and you do have to put a little bit of elbow grease in it buffing it off as well. So it looks good, yeah. Definitely looks good, but I don't know. Let's do the next section here with the Cerakote wipes. We'll do that section right there and see which looks better, and wait till you see how easy it is to use. Let me get the Cerakote wipes. So here with the Cerakote wipes, I just use a little trim tool so I could get, you know, in like the gaps the crevices around where the lettering is, and then just a clean microfiber so that I can these have all been washed. The other panel as well was washed with any rubbing alcohol. Car was washed, and then we went over the panels with rubbing alcohol before we started, but to get any residual dust off, I just wipe it down like that, and then grab a wipe. And the Cerakote wipes, you can get them on Amazon. I'll link them down below along with the other stuff. My local Ace Hardware has them in stock for the same price as Amazon. So it's a little, maybe 6x6, 5x5, 4x4. It's like a 4x4 wipe. I like to fold it like it comes in the package into a little square like this, and then that's it. I'm not putting any pressure, I'm just wiping. They say to wear gloves. I haven't found that gloves were really necessary with the Cerakote either. And you just wipe it on, and that's it. Like, I use the trim tool here to get on the inside in the fender gap. And when you first open the wipe, yeah, it's real easy because the wipe is real wet. As the wipe dries out, you got to give it a little pressure to get more out of the wipe. But you know, I felt like I wasn't getting a lot out of each wipe. But when you know, you're trying to get as much out of each wipe as possible. But when you compare it to like that other thing that we use, see, it's like a little, turns a little black, doesn't get on your hands at all. But when you compare it to what we just used, it's the same price for the 20 wipes that come in the kit as it is for that bottle. And this is the only thing so far that has lasted, and it's definitely the easiest to put on. So in the lettering here, I'm just going to get the big stuff, and when the wipe dries out, that's when I'll go in with the trim tool. Because when the wipe dries out, you have to give it a little extra pressure, and when you're going in with the trim tool, you're giving it that extra pressure without even realizing it. So like here, if I flip it over now, it's just that easy. And they claim like 200 washes or 2 years or something like that. I don't know. You know, he definitely doesn't do 200 washes. And it's been a year, or just about a year. And if you miss a spot, you go back over there. No, you don't have to smooth it out, buff it out. Now you can see it's starting to get streaky on me, so I know the wipe is starting to dry out. Now I'm giving it a little bit more pressure to squeeze more of the Cerakote out. So now that this is just about dried out, where I can't do too much more with it, now I'll take my trim tool and I'll go back over here by the letters, and I'll push it in there and hopefully get the last little bit of liquid out of it. When I did the other side, I think I did this first with a new wipe, thinking that it would be easier to get in there when the wipe was wet, and yes it was, but you kind of like used the good window, so to speak, of the wipe on the letters, and then when you go to use it, it dries out faster because you've had it open and exposed. So that's as far as the one wipe got me. Now I come with the fresh one. Do up top. And I'll overlap into where I was a little streaky because the wipe was drying out. Well, it's a few days later, and what happened, this was a Saturday that we were filming the video and doing everything, and after I was all done, I poured a cup of coffee and I was going to do the closing shot, and some scattered thunderstorm just came rolling through, so the car got completely wet. I thought maybe everything got a little screwed up because of the wet, and I got a couple little tiny streaks in the rear section where I was using the new stuff. The Cerakote part didn't seem to be too affected, but anyway, it was on and off, scattered showers the rest of Saturday night. Sunday came, the car looked like crap from the thunderstorms, so we washed it with a gentle, normal, off-the-shelf car wash, and then my wife has been using it all week, and now it's Thursday. So it's Thursday, it's been washed once, in all transparency, it's been washed once, and Steve-O is going to take it back to school in a couple days, so we just wanted to, before it starts to wear, we wanted to show you what it looked like. This way you can get a real idea, and this is after a good couple of little passing, not a steady rain, but like passing rolling thunderstorms, and then a wash, and it hasn't rained since, so we'll take a look. So you could see here the back bumper looks good. If you really get close, you'll see a couple spots where it got a little streaky due to the rain, because I don't think it was fully dry yet. I don't know if the camera's picking up, but right here I got a little streaky spot, but all in all it looks really sharp. I like it. Too bad that rain had to screw shit up. All right, but what are you gonna do? You can't control Mother Nature. Now the Cerakote looks pretty good. Now remember, this panel had never had Cerakote on it before. This was a test panel that we used with some other stuff, but all in all, the Cerakote panel looks excellent. It doesn't appear that the rain has affected it at all. They both, and everything we've used so far, whether it be the Cerakote or any of the other, you know, black trim plastic restorer stuff, they've all looked good at the beginning. Some of them were easier than others to put on. Check the playlist and you'll be able to see all the different ones we've used so far. But you know, the Cerakote has definitely been the easiest to apply and holds up the best. If you take a look at the front bumper here, this front bumper was done just about a year ago, and I did not go over it because I want to see what it looks like after 2 years. And like right here is a damaged spot in the plastic, so it kind of looks like the Cerakote didn't take there, but it's a damaged spot in the plastic. It looks almost white when there's nothing on the bumper at all, but the Cerakote has definitely held up after the 11.5 months or so that this has been on there. And we'll see this truck again in about 3 weeks. He's going to drive about 1,000 miles or so, and we'll see it in 3 weeks and see what it looks like. I know the back bumper last year when he went to school started to deteriorate real fast. Like I said, he got a drip of gas, which he always does right here, and it came off real quick, real easy, so he wasn't happy with that. Neither was I. We'll see. I'm sure there'll be a couple drips on it when we see him again in about 3 weeks. That's it today from Axel's Garage. We'll link everything we used in the description below. And as always, thanks for watching.